Hey, everybody out there, welcome to our first Adventures from the Stream live podcast. We are here on our YouTube channel, which is Adventures from the Shed podcast. This will be on its own playlist under Adventures from the Stream. For anyone who's not familiar with Adventures from the Shed, we've been doing an audio podcast for about 6 years and have lots of audio podcast episodes out there. Check it out at adventuresfromtheshed.com. We have a couple of older videos up here as well that you can definitely see. We are here again as our first live event on YouTube. Definitely, if you're on YouTube, go ahead and throw us a chat. Say hi. We'll say hi back. Any questions you have, throw them our way. In just a minute, I'm going to introduce the folks that are with me. But I am Joe. I am the host and the game master for this first episode, this first foray into what we're doing. We'll be playing Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, and we have a group of 4 lovely people here with me today. And the first one is Chris. Chris, why don't you go ahead and say?
Hey, this is Chris. Joe described me incorrectly. I'm not lovely, but I mean, I'll take it, I guess. I'm a 30-some-year veteran, I think, of tabletop gaming, so it's been a long ride, and it's definitely been a lot of fun. I think I'm also been 4 years on the podcast, so that's pretty cool. I can't wait to see where else we can go with this craziness with the live streams.
Hey, my name is Kiki. I am definitely not a veteran, probably the other end of the scale. I started off with 3.5 probably about 10 years ago or so, and kind of trailed off from there. I've been on one other podcast with Joe here, but really excited to see where this one goes.
Hi guys, it's Randy. I've been playing a various form of D&D for about 20 years. Started with like a weird offshoot of 2.0 to 3.5, one session of 4. Boo. And I've been having fun with 5e, played a bit of Pathfinder. That's pretty much it. Good times. And I like long walks on the beach.
Oh, that's right. I am very lovely and quite talented, actually. No, I'm just kidding. My name is Jason. I've worked in the gaming industry about 18 years. That's how I've gotten into Dungeons and Dragons and tabletop stuff. I'm typically the DM, and I typically, do all the games and stuff. But Joe was kind enough to invite me in here and give me the chance to play. So it's always a good time when that happens. I also will be helping with map making for our adventures, which we'll be posting online as well. So you guys can see a little bit more of what we do in depth. And I'll be in chat as well if anyone has anything they want to say or say hello to us.
Great. Now that's all of us here. Look at Randy. Randy's got the special colors going on because he took the other green off.
Go away.
Yeah, because you're crazy, man. I think you probably took the green background off, but we'll make do. So here we are, all 5 of us together here. We have, again, our channel on YouTube. It is Adventures from the Shed podcast. You can also follow us on Facebook. We've got a fair amount of people commenting there about our regular audio podcast. We'll have people there for our video podcast as well. That'll be fun. When we put out new episodes, we'll also usually put a tweet out on Twitter. You can find us on Twitter as well. In the meantime, I'll give you a little look at, or a little expose into what we're using for tools. We are in a Zoom call. I'm using OBS Studio to put this together as far as the production piece, graphics that we've created, music that we've created. That was the opening music. I think Chris said he wasn't lovely, but he is talented on the bass. That was Chris on that bass at the beginning of our podcast. And we will be using D&D Beyond characters. This is the character and campaign organization tool by Wizards of the Coast. It's a great tool. Heartily endorse it. We've been using it for our audio podcast for a little while. It's been a lot of fun. We also will be using Roll20 from roll20.net. That will be our map and kind of dice rolling interface as we get going here. And we'll be switching that over on our screen. You'll be able to see that when those pieces come up. What we want to talk about today, we have what would be called typically a session 0 today. Session 0, who wants to describe what session 0 means to them? Jason?
I can describe that here. So session 0 is something that you absolutely should do for any type of D&D gaming group, especially if you are like some of us who've never played together before. It establishes characters. It allows you to learn a little bit about the world, and again, do some collaborative world building as well. Because it's tough sometimes when you're the DM and you're always trying to put things together here. It's great to get the tie-in from the characters, the player characters themselves, and have them actually be a part of creating this world together here. So session 0, we go over what characters are playing. We try to help flush out backstories and generally set the tone for the first game. We also, the DM sets expectations. So what kind of game it's going to be, what rules are tolerated. Is this going to be, high end, fantasy game, or is it going to be, all role play, no combat? This way we have the right expectations going in. It's very important. And, it's honestly quite a lot of fun too, because you get a chance to brainstorm with your fellow players and build the world together.
Great. And to that point, to what Jason said now earlier, when I first introduced the podcast, I mentioned we'll be playing Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. In a more micro description, where we will be using only resources from the player's handbook. That lets us start on a kind of a narrow path, and we can expand as needed, but it also helps to make sure that everybody's familiar with the basic stuff that we're using. Plus, I will say, in my opinion, the player's handbook provides so many paths and different types of things you can do that it can be an overload if you're new to the system or new to gaming to start incorporating all of the add-ons. So we'll be at the player handbook only content, and that's what we'll be using. That's again both through the D&D Beyond and the way that our players have built their characters. They've used the D&D Beyond limiting to the player's handbook. Also, another couple things about the system. We use standard array when we build our characters. I like to make sure we have resilient characters, so all of them will have maximum hit points at each level. We are going to be starting at level 4. It was a choice we made, mainly because level 3 gives you that first divergence where you can start to define who your character is, and then level 4 gives you another bump, whether it be a feat or a point or whatever it is that happens at 4. So we made sure we have established characters rather than that level 1 still trying to figure out who they are and where they might go type of character. And with that in mind, I'd like to go to Chris first. Chris, can you talk a little about your character and why you made the choices you did with the character?
Well, I think because I've never played just the smart guy, right? Even though my character's never exactly dumb, I kind of play him strategically or tactically proficient. Even they might not supposed to be that way. But I'm always playing guys that are kind of beefy a little bit. And I didn't want to play a combat guy at all. This guy's the researcher. Granted, he could toss some spells around. He could fight if he really has to, but it's not his thing at all. So he's just kind of like the brains behind the operation kind of thing. So I decided to go for a gnome warlock. I kind of want to set him up like he's the guy that maybe made a deal with some otherworldly being, kind of like Faust, right? Making a deal with the devil for knowledge. So he's all about knowledge, discovering, finding out mysteries, and figuring out puzzles. He's that guy, right? Whatever he can get himself into for more information, even if it includes enormous amounts of danger, he's all in for it, right? He doesn't care. It's worth the risk, right? Whatever knowledge that he doesn't know, it's worth the risk, no matter how bad it is for the rest of the group. He wants to go find it out.
And with any luck, enormous amounts of danger will be a staple here.
Right.
Cool.
So kind of the background is like, I kind of, and Grant will talk about a little bit more, but like the basic thing, he's kind of like the guy, not necessarily the Tony Stark kind of guy, but maybe the guy that's been working with the kingdom on like weapons research for armor and magical things like that with weapons and spells and all kinds of contraptions, right? He's that guy, kind of like almost like the Q character from Bond, maybe, but he's small time, right? We're not at a high level yet, but he's that guy.
Cool. Now, who would like to go next to talk about their character?
I can go next since I went last on the introductions here.
All right.
So I love character creations. I love creating the different types of characters that are a little bit outside the box. So I came up with Martine Shimmerwick. He is a wild magic sorcerer, and the concept for him is that at a young age, he discovered that he had these latent magical abilities, and rather than using them for, say, the betterment of mankind or things like that, he became kind of like a daredevil. Wannabe influencer type, where he used his powers to actually generate wealth and again monetize his skills. As he grew up, he again got a little bit more big-headed to a degree, and is now working towards a very lucrative contract. He's trying to become an affluencer, somebody who is affluent and can influence the masses with his persona and bravado. The contract he has is for a energy drinks potion company called the Crimson Minotaur. And in order to get this contract, he has to go out and do different adventures and show that he has the skills to back this warranted contract of quite a bit of money here if he can do it. He's a tiefling, so it ties in marketing wise. Crimson Minotaurs is, it's not like, some of the other things like we'll give you wings. No, it's it'll give you horns. And being a tiefling, he has horns. And because he also lives that lifestyle that they're looking for, it's a good synergy with what's going on. So that's why he is out adventuring and again trying to do these heroic deeds to build up his credibility and to again build up his portfolio of adventuring that he can take back and again earn that paycheck.
Very cool. I like the idea that he can do his own marketing for the energy drink because he has the horns. He can just say, "Hey, I drank it," so there. And there's Randy vanishing again. That's awesome. Cool.
Yeah, it's a weird balance, Joe, because if I have it too bright, I kind of disappear from time to time. Too low, and you saw the background just vanish. So that's what that was.
Perfect. Kiki, I'd like to hear about your character next. You do have to unmute, though. That's one of the important parts.
Nah. So similarly to Chris, I'm actually doing something a little bit different, new system, new character. I usually play a lot of like rogues, a lot of like bards. So this time we decided to go with a paladin. Specifically, I'm going to be playing Alistair or Allie the Pally Ashworthy. So basically she grew up in a small village, just a bunch of little halflings. Insert tragic backstory here that, led her to spiral. Yeah. Then we are going to be going into service with like the knights and everything. She wants to get to a point where she can protect everybody and she never has to deal with losing anybody ever again, while also dealing with the comics of being a halfling amongst humans and orcs and other typical fighter types.
Mm-hmm. Well, you might have a short background partner with Alset there as a gnome, the gnome warlock. So
yeah, we're both the slowpokes, 25 feet.
There you go. Anything else? Nope.
No, I'm really excited to do something that's different than my typical character. I've always had the idea of doing a big dog syndrome sort of character.
Well, let's go over to the vanishing headman, Randy.
Hey guys. So typically I used to play a lot of rangers and fighters in the past. So with Miles from the previous or the other session that you guys can check out on any podcatcher, I went with a more kind of magical based, and I like it, but I decided this time to go with a standard barbarian, and I want to see how this goes. I chose the haunted one because that seemed like a very interesting take on it, and we can get into story later unless you want that right now, Joe. But
if you want to talk a minute about it, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, I want him to have been a mercenary who, during a job, a mother and a child were taking a walk, and they accidentally got in. The daughter accidentally got killed, and she actually got injured. So he feels horrible how that went down, and so he is trying to make amends the best he can. But he has nightmares about the poor little girl, and he occasionally thinks he sees her, and then she immediately vanishes when he looks again. He is looking for any work he can to possibly get money back to the mom, and he's just trying to make amends for his past.
So it's not like alimony where you left a kid behind. The kid died and you want to pay back for that. Is there a word for that? I mean, other than regret.
Disability, I think.
Monetary regret, accidental death and dismemberment insurance. That would be what you're covering for.
Yep, via Tusk Incorporated.
Tusk Incorporated, cool. The other thing that we'll have as we move forward is we'll have some avatars for the characters. We'll throw those up on the screen probably in the next stream. And on that note, I do want to mention that we are currently planning a 2-hour stream every Monday night at 8 p.m. U.S. Eastern, and that's where you can find, or here is where you can find us when we do that. It'll be right here on YouTube. Let me talk a little bit about the world. Another thing that Jason had mentioned was trying to set up in session 0 the information around what it is we have going on within our, call it our universe, our world, where our characters find themselves, and where I, as the dungeon master, conduct everything that isn't the characters. So we're going to play in what we would consider, it's medieval fantasy, but I think what we would consider an average amount of magic. We will have magic characters who perform magic, as well as world spots where magic happens, but it won't be everything magic or nothing magic. We're really just going to ride right in the middle there. We want to kind of give ourselves all the places that we can go to start. And yeah, we'll find places where magic is nullified, I'm sure. We'll find places where magic is amplified. We'll be able to determine those things as we get going. Now, as far as what people can play for characters, you've just heard what our players have chosen. One of the things that I heartily endorse is that players should choose the character they want to play, not necessarily choosing characters to balance a party, a tank, a healer, magic user, a ranger, whatever. I think it's way more important to be able to be happy with the character you've chosen, and where that becomes my job as a dungeon master is I just help make up the difference. If there's nobody in the party that casts healing, I'm going to make it so it's a little easier to find healing potions. Those kind of things you can make up for in items or world information compared. That is, I feel, it's part of the DM's job to make sure the players have characters they want, and that those characters have the resources they need, whether they be easy to find or not. So that's a little bit about the world we'll be playing in. Jason mentioned he's going to be putting together some maps for us. We will start with a kind of a generic world map, and as we start and as we gather some of the information about where the characters are from and what towns or cities are important or what regions are important, we'll start throwing tags up on that map. And we'll make sure we put that information both at adventuresfromtheshed.com, on our Facebook page. We will, of course, display them during the stream as needed, as we go into a new area. The other part about that, Jason, you mentioned you make the maps, or you help provide the maps for us. Do you want to talk about how that works for you?
Yeah, absolutely. So I am ridiculously talented. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not that talented. I use a program called
It's ridiculous, though.
It is ridiculous. The program is awesome. And it makes somebody who is like me, who loves to DM and world build, but was never blessed with the skills of a pen or a pencil to actually make anything, except for stick figures and things like that, to actually go and actually put this the ideas down on paper in a really awesome and artistic way. They have a ton of things on there, and it's incredibly user-friendly. To get an account with Incarnate, it's only $5 per month, which is, I think, one of the cheapest services for map making that you can actually find right now. And the maps, they can import right into Roll20 quite easily, and we can use those throughout our game. So I highly recommend it. That is what I use. In fact, I was going to talk with Joe about this. I was probably going to record me actually making the maps themselves, and we can potentially post that on our pages here, so you guys can see the process and how really easy it is to make things inside the program. But that's what we'll be making them, and that's what we'll be going into. And anything that the players can give me that will help me flesh out those kind of ideas as far as where they're from, is really important, because not only does it make the map better, but it also can lead to other things. In our other podcast, I'm sorry, that we do, not on the stream, we made a world map, and then, there was different things on there that, we didn't think of before. There's different regions, forests, and all these things where players were like, oh, I'm from here. So it definitely can help generate more ideas as well, and make the world feel a little bit more alive when you have, a good quality map.
And another thing that's really nice is when Jason's able to put this together, not only his incredible talent, which he'll deny, as well as what the map making software helps him with, Incarnate, you're able to get things in there that you didn't describe to begin with. For example, if you just say, give me a wilderness area, well, it may throw in, I'll just use an example of one of the maps we are using on our other podcast. It actually had a little camp in it. It had a windmill. It had a lake. And these are things that then can augment what you'd already thought. So yeah, the characters were going to travel through a wilderness, but now with a windmill on the map, somebody can say, let's go visit that windmill and see what's going on there. And that may not have been part of an adventure at all, which could be a good or bad thing if you're not prepared. But something like that, where a map can throw in random pieces that the players want their characters to go then and explore, can be very useful. Another thing I'd like to talk about is Session 0. We're going to meet, we've met our players, we've met our characters a little description about them, but we need to learn how these characters actually end up together. And is there any backstory? Now, I'll be fair. Be fair to our players here that they haven't really decided all this yet. So they're kind of on the spot as we're getting through this to get started on our stream, which is okay. You get to listen to how this type of thing happens, both with people who've played for a while and people who haven't played that long. We've got a nice variety of folks here, and I'm going to help by interjecting where needed, or where I think it's needed, whether it's needed or not. The players, I want you guys, if you would, just talk a little bit about, based on what you heard about each other's characters, what things might have linked them. Remember, you're level 4, you've gone on a few adventures, or even if not adventures, you've done things that have gotten your character experience to get to the level where you are. I'll also mention one more thing as far as game mechanics. We use milestone experience because I find it too much of a pain in an environment like this to keep track of numbers. So I will set aside things, nice important spots that the characters will get to, and that is where we will say, all right, you guys got through this part, you defeated the goblin camp, and at the start of the next session, get your characters up a level. It'll be things like that. It won't be, you did this, you got 100 experience, you did this, you got 500. We're going to skip the number counting in this case, and we're just going to go through with milestone experience. So now back to what I was saying. Who would like to talk a little bit about why their character might find themselves in a position to go adventuring as we get started?
I think
I need to get the Jeopardy music.
I think Tusk is always looking for some sort of adventure to go and make more money to send back to, we'll just call her Karen, and to go and help her with her disability and whatnot. So he probably hangs out at most of the ends, and he may have traveled with any of these guys on any missions they could have been on. He is usually for hire, which usually just means a cut of some sort of whatever gold is made.
Absolutely. Yeah. And again, I already kind of went over, the concept for Marty. He is out on an adventure. He is looking to do and take on more and more difficult and crazy tasks so that he can build up his resume of adventuring so that he can earn that paycheck in the end. But me and Chris were actually talking during our testing when we were going through and trying to figure out the best way to set up the stream and everything about our characters already being intertwined, because his character is an inventor and maybe his character is working for the Crimson Minotaur energy drinks potion company on crazy things. And that's maybe how we have hooked up. I don't know if that's something you were still maybe leaning towards, Chris, or if you were maybe in a different mindset.
I still want to have him kind of be part of like the whole research thing, magical research for weapons and armor and spells and contraptions. But I think he can moonlight for other companies for things like maybe it didn't work out for he like works for the local government, but they didn't like that idea, so I'm going to go sell it to somebody else, and maybe you're the face man for these other companies, stuff like that.
Or maybe
or you're the face man for stuff like this. We're not going to use this. It didn't work out, but we can release this to the public, and you're the face man for that.
Maybe, like I said, since energy drink potions might be highly regulated, maybe in the kingdom that you're from, it's the government that is actually putting these things out, and maybe you're in charge of that kind of thing or a part of that department, and that's maybe how we met.
Well, it could even be part of the thing where maybe when we originally released it, it was really bad and it was killing people, and we're kind of like trying to recoup, try to make us look good again by having somebody that's a little bit well known, kind of like, oh, this stuff's great, this Crimson Minotaur.
Absolutely. I mean, Marty can't die. He's too busy to die when it comes down to just drinking an energy drink potion. So.
I'm too busy to die.
It used to be called the poison bovine, and that didn't go so well.
Yeah, so I mean, that's definitely a route there. I don't know, Kiki, what were you thinking as far as how you might want to tie in?
Okay, well, first of all, I think that's really cool. Second of all, too busy to die needs to be a motto somewhere.
It does.
It doesn't give you wings, but when you're too busy to die.
Too busy to die. You're too busy to die. Have a Crimson Minotaur.
Have a Crimson Minotaur. So I know we had briefly touched on beforehand also about with Chris's character, if he's working with that sort of group, that Alistair would also be involved, like I said, with like a militia, like knights or soldiers or something of that nature. So surely they would have had some kind of interaction at that point. I'm sure she would have either had questions or had to go to him for something. And there's only so much soldiering you can do before you get bored.
Now there's another tagline: "Too busy to die."
Too busy to die.
Soldiering you can do before you get bored. Nice.
Maybe they were planning on giving this energy drinks potion to the military, Chris, and that's
super soldier serum kind of thing.
It's testing right now, and I'm trying to get people hyped for it.
Yep.
Nice. The other thing I'm going to mention, because I started it while you guys were going, but we have some background music, by the way. I did find this online. There's a great site for some royalty-free background music. I'll put a link for it in the description, because I think all of it is created by the same person, and this stuff is outstanding. So it definitely deserves to be called out. And I'll put a link to where I found it, to that website, in the description.
Nice.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, if anybody was paying attention to the chat, apparently unmuting is for chumps.
It is.
Yeah, I saw
that. Chump number one.
Sign language. Yeah. Sign language from here on out.
Nice. So we've got how those two characters, how Jason's and Chris's characters. Now, I'll also make a mention that as we get further in here, I'll mostly be addressing by character when we start playing. But for now, I'm trying to just stick with the names, because we're not into the characters yet, per se. But yeah, we just met a little, or learned a little how Jason's and Chris's characters might have gotten together. How could that link, or maybe just have some kind of crossover with how Kiki or Randy, with how your character might have come to the same place where they would be seeking to market their beverage?
I think Kiki's is easy, like you said. Like, she's either the knight of the Empire, and like, hey, we want to test stuff out, and you're one of the elite guardsmen, so you're gonna do what you're told, right? You're gonna take this.
Right, so she could basically just be part of.
You're gonna take this crimson. You're gonna take this stuff, this Crimson Minotaur, and see how it reacts. Right? We're gonna do some testing on the.
Well, maybe that's what it is. Maybe we're going out trying to find mercenaries to test this on as well. That was part of. I don't know that, obviously, as far as that's going here, but we were going around trying to find some people, test it out on them as well, see how it goes.
Next thing you know, we're putting in the drinking water of the city. But
exactly, there you go.
Everybody's gonna.
You didn't hear that from me. You did not hear that. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, Marty was not a tiefling before he drank this.
Nice.
Well, you guys obviously have to do a lot of traveling to go and to sell your guys' wares. So You guys possibly could have hired Tusk multiple times to go and escort you guys from different towns when he was available.
No, because if
Yeah.
he had guarded them, somebody would have died.
That's true. That's
Oh
true.
man,
That
Too
was
soon?
one specific mission.
it was
Too
that
soon?
one time.
Well, they used to have a third partner. Okay, so, I'm sorry.
One time, and never let me live it down.
We go around, and Tusk is he's paid to
Stay away, apparently.
yeah, he's paid to be the enemy when we're doing our when we're pitching things like, you want to take down this half orc here, and then he comes out, he hates it. He just hates going out there.
It pays the bills.
It pays the bills.
Or when you're testing your drink with the military, is he the tackle dummy?
Yeah, there it
The
is.
Crittian Empire pays well.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Nice.
Sturdy enough for that.
So what do you guys think about that as starting? Where would that happen? What kind of town, city, setting? I mean, what would that look like? Because it's
I
gotta be
imagine
something that supports what we're talking about.
Yeah, I imagine that maybe we're making our way into a smaller town to, again, maybe do some promotion, do some testing, and again, dealing with some of the smaller towns, you find that they're more inclined to believe the big city folk when they come down with some promise, something new and fantastical that will fix their lives and all these things here. And then who knows what kind of adventures we can get into once we actually get into the town. But maybe that's part of the directive. We're on a little bit of a PR campaign.
What could even be where we could sell this to other military groups that
could do that
that
too.
are allies of us, or even like mercenary groups, right, or bandit group. Yeah, anybody that's up for this kind of thing.
I think snake oil sells better in the smaller towns.
Yeah,
That's true.
Could be.
But I mean,
And it might make sense as far as, where we've been traveling that kind of circuit. Maybe that's how we found Kiki and Randy, since they came from potentially smaller type of towns and things like that.
nice.
We had to replace a couple of our other interns that we lost along the way.
That was part of the first batch. We don't talk about it.
Yeah, we don't talk about it. Why do you guys have 4 bedrolls? We don't know. We just like having, the extra comfort.
Gotta have
That's
a
what it is. It's gonna have a spare. It's gonna have a spare.
Decoy bedrolls.
Well, the half orc uses 2 already, so I mean,
There you go. Let's think about where we would want to start so that we can bring our characters together and let them meet each other. Now, it sounds like you already know each other a little bit. So what I'm thinking of is a first interaction. We're going to pick ourselves a town. Let me go ahead and come up with, I've already created some towns and areas that we can work with. We are going to start in the town of Breford, Breford, population of about 500, mostly human, has some other races there as well. Civilized races, not half-orcs, mind you.
Ooh.
There's a direct dig at Tusk, yes.
Always in the barrel.
And it sits on an outcrop of rock that is right at the edge kind of a cliff, and it's only accessible by a single road. It's governed by a dwarven aristocrat, the Lady Annan.
How do you spell that?
Annan. I can actually, I want to see if I can put some of this in this text without going overboard here. But I will get, like I said, some of this up on the screen here, and what we can do is let you guys kind of take it from there. Let's do that, and then press that button. There. So, if y'all can see that, what I've read there is what I read is what's there. Also, another note for folks who love tools to help you out. Donjon scripting generator stuff. That's actually where this came from. I use this a lot. Donjon, donjon.sh. I'll probably put a link to that as well. But there are random generators for just about everything you can think of in a role-playing game. And it gives you a nice, good start to allow you to see places that you can build from. But I'll leave that on the screen for now, and we can go from there.
Okay, so we're going to Breeford, and that is where we're going to be starting off, Joe. Are we?
Well, that's
okay.
where everybody is going to be. All right. Maybe you just arrived here recently. You guys can make that determination. Maybe you're bringing in a shipment, or somebody here is expecting to test. Go for it.
What do you think, Kiki? Should we have just gotten here, or do you think maybe we've been here for a few days, or?
Probably like spent the last few days kind of getting settled in and getting ready to actually do the thing.
Okay.
Thing.
I can dig that. I can dig that here. And then Randy, what about you? I mean, do you think that we've already made contact with, say, the person that we're here for, or the reason why we're here for? Or are we going to be starting off just trying to figure that out? Just
possibly just trying to figure that out. Are you trying to say that I'm with you guys, or you guys are heading to the
yeah,
town?
we're all with each other starting off. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, you probably guarded them or helped to escort them along their path.
We only lost like 2 other people.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've just determined that Tusk is running an escort service. This is great.
Fine.
Oh yes, Tush, smolder ass.
That was a separate
Did not think we
conversation.
were going to be able to get that joke off so early.
Yeah, that was awesome.
This would be a good time to mention that this stream will have adult humor in it.
Oh gosh, yes.
All right, all
it has
set.
that
Roll
YouTube-
initiative.
Yeah, it has that YouTube tag of not suitable for children. So,
It's like, what is it? Half orc in the streets and all orc in the sheets, or something.
Do you want to see my orc side?
that's awesome.
Okay. All right. So we've been in town. We haven't necessarily gotten off of what we're starting to do yet. Chris, what do you think here? Are we here trying to peddle our wares, or are we here trying to maybe talk to the lady of the town and get her to buy some, or let us test some stuff out on her local guards?
Yeah, I guess I would need more information. I mean, granted, it's governed by a dwarven. Is the population mostly dwarves?
No,
Or
it's
is
mostly
the
human.
area-
Yeah.
Mostly human.
Okay, so, I guess we'd have to see, like, if she has some type of local militia or something like that, or a pile of sheriffs, like stuff like that. We probably would try to make some kind of appointment ahead of time before coming to the town. But
Okay.
all said, his kind of thing would be like, hey, I want to go to this town and check out the local rumor mill of kind of what mysteries and things I could research and find out, like, just for me, because he likes to collect things of power and mystery. So he would always have a side hustle going on, besides this.
Okay.
So
Oh yeah, and having that kind of extra stuff there also boosts my rep. So yeah, I'm definitely on board with looking for that kind of stuff too. I mean, Joe, is this a sleepy little town here of 500 people, or is it a busy kind of like they export some stuff, or what would you say?
Because it's because of where it's situated, it's mainly a tourist spot. Like you go into the tavern and they actually have the little keychain, well, big wooden key fob of outline of the town overlooking the cliff, and that looks down. We're going to say we're at the edge of a very large lake, so we're going to have to remember that when we get to the map. So it's upon an outcrop of rock by a very large lake.
Okay, got that.
So it's more that pretty much everything they do is they trade tourist dollars or use tourist dollars to buy the things they need. So there's one small farm here, and it's run by a few people. This small farm has some of the livestock, so most of the residents will go get their eggs and their milk and what have you locally, but anything like clothing and pretty much any kind of mercantile is going to come from somewhere else, and they just buy it by people coming to visit and depositing their money there.
And this could be a great way to get the word out about, Crimson Minotaur brand, because you have so many people coming in from all different areas. They're going to go back to those areas, and what are they going to do? They're going to be like, hey, let's grab life by the horns and let's have ourselves a delicious Crimson Minotaur.
Yeah, too busy to die.
Don't mess with the
to
boy,
die.
young man.
Yeah,
You'll
so
get the
so this
horn.
might just be like we're giving out free samples, so we can just spread the word on it. We might not necessarily be trying to make a deal for money off.
Yeah,
the
well,
lady.
if a deal presents itself, then maybe it presents itself when the game starts.
Well,
Okay. Let's say that somebody's been in the town before, and as you had mentioned, maybe she has, she being Lady Annan, she is an old, wizened warrior who kind of settled down here, and when people came around and started visiting, the town kind of built up around her house, and she rules this place with an iron fist, but she's very fair. And really the way the town works is people come to her and have always done this. People come to her and say, is it okay if we do this? She says yes or no. Then it happens or doesn't happen. There isn't any other local authority. She is the top and the bottom as far as what runs the town. So briefer.
So she doesn't have any like local I have like 3 or 4 sheriffs here that handle things.
Nope,
Wow.
none of that at all. Just her. And it's mainly because she's essentially kicked anybody's ass who didn't stay in line.
I like this woman.
Call it volunteer guardsmen. There's nobody on any payroll. But if on the occasion a wild beast comes into town or a small group of goblins or something shows up, several of the local people will get together with her, fight off whatever the invaders or the problem is, and then just get back to life.
I resent that remark about wild animals.
No, you resemble that remark about wild animals. You gotta pick
Okay.
I
your
also
words.
resemble. that
So she
remark.
sounds like she's pretty dope. I like the sound of this lady Anon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds good to me. I mean,
Okay.
I think my character would immediately be drawn to trying to find an audience with her because sounds like she's the person to go to when it comes down to promoting yourself and being that kind of head honcho kind of individual.
Yeah, definitely. All right, who else would do what? Now, figure as a touristy place, there's a couple places to find drinks. There's one big tavern inn with a bunch of rooms and a lot of sightseeing kind of things. There's a couple little tours that'll take you along the edge of the cliff and show you what's down below. There's this like a lift, almost like call it an elevator, but a manual one, where you can step on and they have people lower you down the cliff and you can take that ride down and then be pulled back up, that kind of thing.
like bungee jumping or something.
Well, now that you say it.
We can.
I'm going to
invent
try
that.
to work that in. I'm going to try
Yeah.
to work and look. I have this contraption where
Well, you know what contraption we could make here.
parasailing kind of thing.
Yeah, we could definitely do one of those. And those rides where they have the 2 large poles and they swing you out over a cliff towards a lake. We could become pioneer inventors for that, and we could make sure that Allie's character tests it out and shows everybody as far as how it goes.
Like, she could heal herself, so it's fine.
So, yeah, like there's
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
She breaks a couple bones, gets back up, and heals. Like, I'm perfectly okay.
Yeah,
Everybody's
it's fine.
totally
It's fine.
safe.
It's fine. Have you ever wanted to see a paladin swing from the
Happens all the time.
skies?
I'm thinking something like a crotchety wizard by the cliffside with a sign next to him. Feather fall for free. Get back up
Yeah.
on your own.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
I like that, but yeah, no, I mean, I think I have a good idea of why me and Alset would be there. But Randy and Kiki. I mean, what about you guys? What do you guys think as far as the town setting and what you might be interested in?
I mean, honestly, Allie would probably just take up any opportunity to see, how she could help, with the general intrigue of there not being any other like really local authority or like sheriffs or like anything like that. Just, trying to figure out whatever she can do. So she would probably also be interested in seeking audience directly with Lady Anon.
Okay, all right. What about
Well,
you, Tusk?
Marty, Elset, if neither of you need me, I'll be at the inn, and you can find me there.
Oh,
And
we
he'll
need
be
you.
there at the end, looking for any chance to. If he's not needed, he'd be over there. Sorry, go ahead.
I said we definitely need you. We need you to test out that bungee as well. So we're gonna do.
Yeah, well, first we need you to build a contraption, hammer
We
stuff
need- we need
in.
to build
I just
the
have the
contraption.
blueprints and stuff. I'm not doing any manual labor.
Now,
The little guy.
You need
If
to
you
build
wish
the
for me to build that, you are paying me. So
Well, of course we pay you well.
I think one of the things we should start is kind of a bet on what is going to be the first roll of the night. And would anyone have guessed creating a bungee jumping machine?
Yep, a bungee.
well,
it's
let's see what happens.
It's gonna be it's gonna be a bungee jump swing. So it's going to be the two forks. It's gonna swing you out, and then you're going to again wrap around a third pole, and then just bungee down and boing back and forth. It's a
Okay, so
two-part-
my guess is first roll is going to be construction. Second roll is going to be Allie making a death saving throw. Just my prediction.
Sounds
I
fair.
guess third would be a medicine roll of some sort.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
All right. So
Completely safe.
when it comes
Completely
to
safe.
speaking with Lady Anon, it's just her house. You walk up and knock. There's no, as you had worded it, seeking an audience. Well, seeking an audience is just going up and knocking on her door. If she's there. If she's not there, then she's somewhere about in town. But she can typically be found at home. She entertains guests regularly because she's just the town built up around her. So anybody wanting something from her is of course going to show up with tea and crumpets or whatever it may be to start talking with her and try and convince her that what they want should happen.
Good. Allie, did you bring the tea and the crumpets to this?
I
You brought
sure
the
can.
crimson minutes.
I mean, I brought the
I will
drinks.
make those.
Gotta go stop by the baker first.
Yeah,
Go stop by Dunkin' Donuts. Pick her up some coffee.
yeah, it's me and Allie who are going to see her because I think is all set and Tusk are looking to build the thing, or are we all there together?
Tusk isn't looking forward to building it. He's just being forced to because
That's
he's
awesome.
being paid.
Sure. And to this point, one of the ways that we treat money in the game as we're playing is really going to be if it's a normal thing. If you're going to the inn to get a drink, we're not even going to count whether it costs a copper, a silver, a gold, whatever. Even if I say how much it costs, you don't have a number to reduce it or to deduct it from. And that's okay. What we really care about is have the characters accumulated enough wealth for that special thing they're trying to buy. That's what we care about. And until you get to that point where you're saying, I'm trying to buy this magic rope, then we don't care about how much money you have. However, when you're out there, when you loot the bodies, you're going to find money. You're welcome to write that down because it's cool to say, I'm going to use the money I got off that half orc. That would be pretty. You get that, Randy? Do you hear that? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. But it's cool to just link those things together. Also, when you find items, exchanging them for money can be fun too when you're bartering, etc. But
I
when
need
it
to
comes
buy
to
magic
money,
stretchy rope.
Magic stretchy rope. You know, I didn't even think about magic rope in that way. I just said that. Subconscious. So what are? Let's go ahead with. Excuse me. I'll sit in Tusk. What is y'all doing? What is y'all doing?
Well, I would assume we need to get permission to actually build these things here, from
Don't need
Lady
permission.
Annan. Yeah.
It
I don't
depends
need-
on if you think what you build will be cool enough that she'll just say, "Oh, all right."
Then we need to talk to Lady Anna.
Well, I mean, it's money for the town, right? They could charge people to use,
Sure.
and we're just getting a percentage of actually putting it up.
Okay,
we
so
should
maybe
go-
we'll all go. We'll all go and we'll knock on the door.
Okay.
Yeah. Plus, my ulterior motive was always to question people about magical things around this area that I could get my go find or research knowledge, that kind of thing. I'm not really. This is just the front end, right? This stuff. My guys
Yeah.
don't really care about that. It's just to get my way in.
Okay. Let me just. I'm making one note here. So talk amongst yourselves for a moment.
Yeah, Mike Gray says, "Get the T-shirt." I don't know what T-shirt he's talking about. Whose T-shirt is that?
Yeah, there's t-shirt. I mean, I've got. Oh, get the t-shirt from this town. It's a tourist place. That's probably it.
Oh, that's right. Oh, he's so good.
Ah,
All I got
And
was
then,
his glasses.
I
Eli's-
Featherfell
Eli's in
t-shirt
it.
available in the gift shop at the base of the cliff. Nice.
Love it.
Mike, you got it, man.
We got to make that T-shirt now. I have to have it.
Yeah.
You know?
We got Eli in the chat as well. What up, Eli?
What up? Yeah. So
And
keep
then
going
he said,
for-
don't forget to stop by the gift shop as well.
where are you, OH? Stay tuned for that episode.
Come on, shit.
Y'all
times.
can keep talking.
Okay, so when we go see this woman here, I mean, so let's talk as a group here. What is our approach to getting her to allow us to do the things that we need to do in this town here? I mean, do we think that we maybe need to schmooze her a bit and maybe offer our services to let us, have our way in the town? Or do you think that we should just kind of ask and then just go for it?
Oh yeah, we
Being
should definitely
big gifts
present.
first.
We could definitely present like, hey, we could set this contraption up so we can make money, do like all these things. Plus, we toss in the Crimson Minotaurs free. Just
Mhm.
like, hey, check this out. For your recommendation would mean a lot to us. But then I just want to question her about is there any legends or rumors in this area of certain magical devices and things like that.
Yes, all right. I mean, what were you going to say, Kiki?
So I have my motives, but everybody else could have other things. But we definitely need to schmooze her a little bit.
Yeah, Kiki, what were you going to say? I thought before.
Sorry about that.
Still definitely tea and baked goods. That's all. I will make them.
Big good.
Okay, all right. Tea and baked goods, excellent. You don't forget to put a little bit of the Crimson Minotaur, drink into the tea. That way, she can get a little
Oh.
taste of what's happening.
Energy tea.
We should make it
Let's
to
me
a,
know.
a powder
Energy.
form.
Crimson Minute
tea.
tea, the side product.
There you go. That's a whole new product line that is generate that revenue.
Nice.
What about
Marty.
you? What about you, Tusk?
Marty, you say the word and I'll get the supplies we need once we find out we can do this.
Excellent. I love this. Is why we like you, Tusk. You're such a go-getter. when it comes
Go-getter.
down to it.
Just get it done. So at Anon's house, when you knock, now just let me know who's there to start.
We're all there, I think.
I think we're all there.
everybody,
Yeah,
okay.
we're all there. We all
Um,
go.
When you knock, it is so the house is just this big, like reclaimed wooden structure. It's made out of all the different lumber you can find in the area, or has washed up on the shore of the lake down below. So it looks kind of haphazard, but it's really well constructed. So there's just a lot of different patterns there. Big, heavy wooden door arched at the top with a heavy iron knocker and handle on it. And a few moments after you knock, the door opens and you're greeted by this about 4 foot tall, about 4 foot wide dwarf lady. And she is definitely older. She's got just straight silver hair, and she's got a beard that she has braided from the front to the sides on the back. So she's got like these hair loopies from the front of her face to the back of her head. She comes to the door wearing probably the heaviest duty canvas garb you could find. It's really thick tunic with a thick vest over it, a thick pants, and she's barefoot. Really, she just looks really weathered. Looking at her face, you can't tell where one scar ends and the next one begins. So she's definitely been out in the world quite a bit.
I would like it to be known that I'm holding up a promotional Red Minotaur T-shirt for
Brought
free.
to you by.
Yep. As
This
she
knock
opens the
brought
door.
to you by. Yes.
Yep. And I would like to have just for some grandeur. As soon as the door did open, I would Misty step my way in front of the door. That way, I kind of appeared with a free shirt.
Nice. So, she says, "Welcome to Brevard. What can I help you with?"
Oh, hello there. You must be Lady Anand, the person we've heard so much about. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, well, excellent. Well, this is for you here. And we also brought some other things that I think you might like. Allie, this is your cue. Come on, Allie.
Ali, go.
I hold up a little satchel and kind of unwrap it, and it has just like a little pot of tea and just like a very quaintly wrapped little thing of baked goods.
Oh, that's outstanding. Won't you come in and have a seat?
Of course, we would be delighted to. This is a smashing house. Oh, by the way, let me introduce myself. You might have heard of me before here. Marty Shimmerwick, yes? Defeated that group of rats back in Volisport?
Maybe. I hear lots of things.
Oh, well, I'm sure I'm in there somewhere. These are some of my compatriots here. We have Allset. Allset, introduce yourself, man.
I've met the Lady Annan many years ago. I'm always asking her if there's a piece of the Doom Heart around town. She always denies it, but I know what's really going on.
Oh, you
Come on, you gotta look. I have this ideas for all these contraptions, make you a ton of money, make the town money. You gotta give me something this time around. It's been like 10 years or something like that. Come on.
Old friends. That's so.
Well, I wouldn't say we're friends. I mean, I probably got on their nerves. I didn't bring any tea and muffins.
You were friends. All set.
He probably doesn't remember.
Good friends.
Good.
I have to say, I never forget a weapon, but I always forget names and faces. So maybe we've met.
Oh, well, I'm sure you haven't maybe forgotten this space here. Tusk, do you know her too? Have you been around here before?
Maybe she only knows you're back in.
Indeed, we've actually fought together in battle. I respect a woman of her stature.
Fantastic. And, half-orcs aren't so bad at fighting.
No, this one here has got a perfect record of fighting and saving things.
And neither are you, Lady Anon.
So she leads you to this, what is clearly her regular entertainment area for people. She's got this nice, big, sturdy. Everything is just slightly smaller than average size. So it's all her home that she's just invited people into. So if it's not quite what you would call really dwarf size. So it's just not quite normal, 5.5 foot human size. Somewhere in the middle. But call it everything slightly undersized. So the taller amongst you. Speaking of which, what I'd like to do here is, so I've given you a little bit of a description of her. She pulls out a seat and sits down. Now tell me, what does she see as each of you pulls out a seat and sits down? Let's start with Tusk.
Okay, let's see. The way I wrote down, let me see. Okay, so he is 7'2" male, so this room's gonna be a bit small for him. About 250 pounds, kind of young, 28. He has brownish red eyes, dark green and black. It's kind of like different sections, kind of weird looking, like what some people's facial hair does, like what mine does, where it's red and then white here. His is like black and then green, like various parts, like in a row of his hair. And his skin is this like deep olive green. And he's a decently brutish looking fella. He's wearing mostly like a black kind of shredded shirt, these brown trousers, and he has a strap that's going across to his like kind of like a Leonardo kind of sash looking belt around him as well, but basically unarmored other than that little leather strap he has over him.
Okay.
As well as his weapons attached to it.
I really like the decently brutish looking fella. I like that.
A great axe and a great club that you can easily see hanging off of him, ready to go at any second.
So...
As well as a little sack with his other property.
So he kind of looks like a walking armory. What kind of armor?
No armor. He is a barbarian. His skin is his armor.
So how much of his skin is exposed? Is he just like wearing leather straps, or does he still have full clothing? Or
his whole... it's like take my t-shirt for example, but no sleeves at all. It's just tattered and ripped, and just a black shirt, and so his arms are just exposed. Pretty much the only thing exposed is his arms and his head, so it just looks like a ripped t-shirt and brown pants for the most part. So
all right, so then let's go to Allie. What is Lady Anansi as Allie comes in and sits herself down at the table?
So Allie is, of course, a halfling, probably on the average, maybe a little bit shorter end, maybe a little bit weird of a sight, but she does wear chainmail. She's carrying around a maul and a spear, along with her baked goods, which, good combination. But she's fairly good size, actually, other than, being a little bit short. She's not going to say that, though. She's perfectly average height. Big for a halfling. If you saw the folks back home, you would know.
So she's like
every time.
The tallest midget kind of thing, right?
I was the tallest in my family.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she wears the chainmail, the spear, the maul. She got some muscle. Hard to tell under all the chainmail, but there's a good bit of bulk under there. She's got nice olive skin, bright green eyes, fairly androgynous looking, with kind of an angular blonde cut, a little bit of an undercut.
Cool. Now, what about Marty?
Well, Marty is a picture of perfection when it comes down to it. No, Marty is a tiefling, average height for a tiefling, around 5'9" not super tall, not super short. With the horns, probably getting closer to 5'10", 5'11". The horns again go in a spiral and up, and he is a very deep maroon color for the most part as far as complexion, except for his left hand, which kind of goes more dark blue as his skin tone just changes just on that one particular arm. What they see, though, as far as what he's wearing, it's all branded Crimson Minotaur garb. The robe, everything else here. The back has the big Crimson Minotaur logo on it. The side photo of the bull with the two horns. Snorting out fire, taglines, everything else. Even his boots and stuff like that have the Crimson, the CM logo on them. That's basically what he's wearing right now. Is he was provided all these materials per his contract, going out and trying to be a walking advertisement for these particular things. Doesn't carry around a lot of weapons or things like that. As far as big stuff, being a sorcerer, has a little arcane focus, has a component pouch, and has a actual staff that he uses for more for flair, as he doesn't necessarily need it to cast spells, but a little bit of a dramatic, a little bit of a drama person. So he does have that he uses, and a couple of daggers that he carries around, but he uses most of those things for utility purposes. He doesn't really use those for fighting, but that's typically what Marty looks like.
Cool. So you mentioned his colors, as in he's maroon with that change of color down his left arm. What colors does he wear?
Oh, so it's the Crimson Minotaur brand. So from how I pictured it, was going to be typically white and blue, but with the red contrast of the logo of the Minotaur on the very back. So it was like the white blue going down with the crimson red on there. And that's what I pictured when it came down to the branding and the logos.
I like that. All right. And of course, last but not least, what does Alset look like? He's probably not looking like the regional salesman for Crimson Minotaur.
Definitely not. He is not about marketing or any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He's a little bit tall for a rock gnome. He's about 4 feet, 45 pounds. So he's a little bit beefy, even though he's not a strong guy, but he has the constitution. He could weather a storm if he needs to. He's wearing all brown, like leather pants and a shirt and a jacket and gloves. Although the gloves are cut at the fingertips in case he has to, work with tools and things like that. He always has a pair of goggles on that you can sometimes see his eyes, but he'll switch it for different lenses if he needs to see things.
Nice.
He's got a light blonde beard and mustache, and his skin's kind of like a tan, like a light tan color. So he's dressed pretty fancy, actually, for a guy that's like a tinkerer, kind of like that kind of guy, but he still dresses really nice. He's got a nice pair of like boots and everything. You can tell he's definitely got some money behind him. He puts it all in to like dress well. He definitely doesn't look like the usual scientist in the lab, right? This guy looks like kind of fancy, even though he's what he's into. And then for weapons, it's the same thing, right? He just has like a couple daggers and like a small hammer. He does have like a short bow, but he rarely has it on him. It'd be something he might make Tusk carry that if he needs to, that kind of thing. Carry him extra Tusk because he does have a backpack with all his trinkets and tools and things like that, and all this random pile of goodies that he wants in there, and like all his clockwork items that he wants to put together if he wants to build something like on the spot. So he has a pile of just randomness.
So does that? I mean, is that obvious on him that he's like a walking trinket shop, or?
Some of the stuff you might see different weird tools and pieces that doesn't make any sense, but most of the stuff will just be in the backpack. And he does have like this leather book that's kind of closed off. It's not like it doesn't flap open, right? He has to. It's bound up leather, and he has to release it. And anytime he does release it, it seems like there's like a light glowing from it.
Neat. Okay. All right. So everybody is now sat down at the table. We'll put the basket out with the pastries.
With the free T-shirt, as well.
And then the free T-shirt, yeah.
Free case of Crimson Mints.
The T-shirt, and you can tell this is not done in any disrespectful way whatsoever, but she takes the T-shirt and puts it across her lap like a napkin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But then grabs one of the pastries, pours the tea, and then she has the tray of several teacups, and she offers in turn to each of you whether you want some tea poured or not, just looking for a little nod kind of thing. And as you know, she'll pour that for each and grab your pastries. So, what is it you think you can do for Brieford?
Well, first off, I want to say here, using the shirt as a napkin just gave me a whole new line of products that we can brand here. So thank you for that. But Allset, my man, if you wouldn't mind letting your old friend here know what we're all about.
All right, so I roll out the blueprints. Has the contraption for the bungee jumping station. I got another set of blueprints for the parasailing, parachute, glider thing, and then we have the thing like the swing. We could kind of meld that into the bungee jumping station if need be. We haven't really worked that out yet, but we'd be willing to. It would be the first one ever in this part of the world, so that would be huge.
Mm-hmm.
So
go ahead, Marty. You tell how big that would be.
It would be.
Before we go there, one of the things I'd like to see is how intricate the plans are, because you might impress this old dwarf. And I'm very curious about this. So you specifically said you had some blueprints.
Yep.
I'm going to switch our screen over here to our Roll20 screen.
Man.
Yay! And you know what? I think I'll clear this chat log too, because we're starting all fresh and stuff. Go back here. And what I'd like to see is a... well, I don't know. Now here's something a little bit more behind the scenes stuff. This is session 0, trying to help describe to you how we go about things. As myself, as Joe, as the dungeon master, it's really important to me that we have an agreement on what we're going to make for a roll. Since almost everything we're going to do here is going to be homebrewed in some way and collaboratively created as we go, we don't necessarily know right off the bat that to impress Dwarf X, you have a DC X perception roll or something, right? That's not what we're looking for here. We'll collaboratively come up with something that makes sense. And to be fair, I really don't know if I would be able to pick off the top of my head. How good am I at making blueprints? What skill would that be?
That's maybe Arcana, maybe. I don't know.
I would say it might be even just a straight intelligence check just to see how well he can put things together.
If you think that you might want to imbue magic into it, and that's part of the plan, I could see Arcana. But other than that, yeah, let's go with intelligence.
Yeah, I would definitely put magic into it. That's kind of his thing, right? It's magic on everything, right?
Yeah.
Magic in all the time. That would definitely be the thing.
So yeah, let's go with an Arcana roll and see what we end up with.
All right, let's see if this works.
Yeah, and we are still messing a bit with the integrations between D&D Beyond and Roll20. We haven't really gotten our characters in there yet, so we're going to have different kinds of rolls happening. So first,
right.
I see an 18 on there.
Yep.
It's behind me. It's there. But the 18 is clearly there. It is an Arcana roll. And so right off the bat, she loses focus of what you're saying as she gets engrossed in these blueprints. And there's just a lot of, oh, that's interesting. Oh, wow. Very, very impressed with what you've presented. And now go ahead with the next thing you were going to say. Sorry. I just wanted to make sure we got that out there. The blueprint set out on the table. She's fawning over it practically. I think Marty was going to talk next.
Yep.
Oh, I would say yes. So I don't know if you're familiar with the Crimson Minotaur brand, but we're all about grabbing life by the horns and showing off. Normal people can do extraordinary things with our energy drinks potion line here. And once we set up these contraptions here, I would be more than happy to do a fantastical feat and this daring exploit to dazzle and wow the audience here. Of course, we'll test it first here to make sure it's safe. We have Allie here and we have Tusk, so we'll make sure that again the contraption is fully up to code. But I mean, we would love to be able to do that here for you. And of course, maybe provide some free samples, provide our services to the town, anything like that here at all to get things going. What do you say, old girl?
So what kind of investment are we looking at here? Do you need me to pay for it? Are you paying for it? What do you get out of it?
Well, we get the brand recognition out of it here, and we get the publicity here. I believe we have all the basic things. I don't think we need any money. Do we all set?
Well, for me, I like information. That's payment enough for me.
Oh, well,
I
there we
could have
go.
a chat with the lady later about things. That's what I'm here for.
Yes, I mean, I think that's a fair offer indeed. I know Kiki. I'm not sorry, Kiki. Sorry, I keep looking. I look at your name; it's not changed yet. I'm sorry, Allie and Tusk. What about you here? I know that you are new to the Crimson Minotaur brand, but I mean, what about you? Is there anything that you might need or require?
Personally, for me, I heard plenty of legends about you over in the academy, and it would be an honor for me to offer my services for you.
Well,
If we're capable-
sounds great.
If we're capable of building these attractions, it would be very helpful to streamline the gold earned for our share to send it to Karen back in Bogstown.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All Karen does is want to talk to the manager anyway, so
Mm-hmm.
Every time.
yeah.
Her haircut sucks, by the way, too.
So,
to be fair, I think it sounded a little like Allie's haircut. No offense.
Not quite.
Not quite. All right. So does that mean you're going to need to put this? She holds up the T-shirt. You're going to need to put this in the tavern? I mean, what's your distribution plan?
do you have a gift shop somewhere that we could that may be more suitable for some of our merchandise and wares?
There are a couple. There's the kiosk next to the Featherfall station, and then there's the larger one outside of the tavern.
Okay, I mean, I think we could maybe do both if that's something that's all right. But we would need a plot of land at preferably the highest peak in the nearby area to set up this contraption, right? All set. You need height for this thing.
Go as high as we can get it.
Yeah.
You're on the highest spot, by the way.
Yes.
That's why this was so appealing when she retired. To have this outcropping that kind of, you figure the cliff sits not completely straight, but call it straight across, and then her spot sits as a fist, a nice big dwarven fist sticking out above the cliffside, and the town has been built up around that. So the highest spot is her backyard, essentially.
Oh well, I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, this we would just need your backyard for what? I don't know, all set. What do you think? A few days?
Yeah, 3 days maybe.
Yeah, 3 days.
Will there be a lot of screaming?
I don't know. Allie, do you scream a lot?
I can work on it.
Tusk only does when he's dreaming, so.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
it helps me sleep, so if you can arrange to have the screaming, that would be great.
That is peculiar, but we can definitely do that for you, I believe, here.
This lady's a freak.
Reminds me of old
Pipes
times.
to put at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
If you have any fake or even real skulls to put on those spikes too. Something to scare them when they get close.
Outstanding.
We can definitely do that.
Mm-hmm.
I like the idea.
I
Well,
can provide our own if you'd like.
take
Give me 2
take
days.
your time. You're welcome to the areas that you need to use, and of course, spend some time in town, spend some money in town, and just let me know if you need any help.
Of course. And then what about our friend Alset here? Is there some way that you might have some information for him that you might be willing to share? And then I mean, anything would be
Remind me
reasonable.
what the information was?
I'm looking for some information on pieces of the Doom Heart. I hear it could have passed through one of the pieces, or maybe all, I don't know, if all three pieces could have passed through this area many moons ago, and perhaps there's some research or anything. A cave drawing, perhaps. Anything you could give me.
Just so I get my notes right, Doom Heart, Heart?
Yeah.
One word or two?
One word.
Okay. The Doom Heart. She asks you, Alset, if you would stay here for a couple of minutes after your friends have left, I'll talk to you about it.
Sounds good. We could have more tea and muffins.
That's mainly me
Whatever.
saying I have to look something up while you guys go talk.
Yeah. All right. Well, and then, of course, maybe I don't know here, Allie, one of our fine compatriots here, offered her services. Is there anything that you might need? Well, because it's going to take maybe a day or so, I would imagine, all set to build the contraption, correct?
She could probably give some training to the volunteers, you know.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Some training. Maybe you have more things that need to be, cut up or hacked away at. We have, I mean, I've seen Allie and Tusk's, their physique. They seem to be very adept at smashing things.
Yes. Any more problems from the encampment up north? I knew I dealt with those a few years ago.
I think she's still thinking about it.
She's thinking. Mm-hmm. So, Allie, what did you put into these cakes here? They are absolutely fantastic.
Well, it's definitely a recipe I got from home. But past that, I did actually use some of our products in it, the tea specifically.
Excellent. I thought I tasted the acidity of the Crimson Minotaur. Which flavor Crimson Minotaur did you use? Was it the regular? Was it the cherry flavor?
I tried to go a little bit with the regular to start.
Okay. Oh, that's classic.
Still work
one.
in progress.
It tastes like what I think a jester would taste like.
Delicious, then. Yes.
Funny.
That doesn't taste funny to me. It's weird.
You guys eat strange food. Give me a lamb leg or a chicken any day.
Tastes like a jester.
Jester.
Jester's
right.
dead.
So you guys go out and maybe you need to find some people, some recruiting, right?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. So do we, I don't know, Alza, is this contraption, is this something that Tusk can build on his own, or you know?
It would be faster if we can get more people to
All right. Well, we'll go find. I mean, I don't know. Tusk,
or if we could even use local resources, kind of like for her house. You know, she has all this nice wood.
Yeah, absolutely. Tusk, do you want to go and try to round up some people to help?
Yes, let's go find it.
We'll go find
I can't do this all on my lonesome. That's heavy work. I don't expect the gnome to help.
Well, Tusk.
Well, he's got that right.
Tusk, I mean, you are right in that here, but what do we learn in our, our corporate HR retreat here? Let's make sure that we are addressing each other as teammates.
We are at an understanding. He knows I'm just, how you say, poking fun.
Yes, and in Orc, I say to him, look, I'm the brain and you're the brawn. It's just how it works out. I say that in Orc to him.
Indeed.
All right, well then, let's go find us some people here. How good are your people skills here, Tusk? I mean, are you easily able to get people to bend to your will, or?
I spend most of my free time, if we didn't come here, for example, in the end challenging people to bar fights for coin.
What if you challenge them to bar fights for work?
I could have that arranged.
This could be a good plan.
How does it even work?
If you can beat me in a fight, then you get coin. But if I beat you, you work for me.
I think that's fair. I think we can find many people who will be willing to take that challenge.
Got a problem with that, my friend?
Maybe we should use it like arm wrestling instead of just beating people up around here. I don't know.
Double elimination tournament?
Over the top.
Yeah.
All right, all right. If you are worried about that being a problem, then I will arm wrestle them.
No, we're not trying to,
I have just
upset the lady here.
I have just the promotion for this year. Let's go to the local.
Marty is not a lady.
Well, I mean, I'm not a lady, but I do look quite good.
Yeah,
His
It's-
complexion is nice, yes.
all right. It's all right. Anyways,
Like a fresh cooked meal.
anyways, I
Unlike
have.
the jester food here.
He could be a stunt double for a lady, that's for sure.
Let's get Tusk some food before we go out and round up.
Yeah,
To the end!
we'll go to the end here, and I have a great way to promote your arm wrestling for service things that can tie into a healthy promotion for us. So
You might have to take a dive on these arm wrestling contests, and we give people the crimson.
No.
I never take a dive.
You will
How
for money.
dare you?
I'm paying you well.
Paying you well.
You better pay me double if
Well,
I
think
throw
of
in a
this.
fight.
Think of Karen.
Arm
Tusk.
wrestling
Think of
competition.
Karen.
Think of Karen.
Think of all
Arm
the good we'll
wrestling,
do
not
for
fighting.
Karen.
Yes, indeed. Splendid deal, Marty. We will do this.
Let's go.
Okay.
Yes.
So with that, y'all head out, and
Except for me.
Alset stays behind.
I think Allie also stays behind, right? Because you wanted to learn more about her, or are you coming to the inn with us?
No,
Allie?
at this point, because the Doomheart was mentioned by Alset, that's the only one that Anon wants to talk to.
Okay.
So she's going to talk to just him. Plus, he also impressed her with these blueprints, and clearly that person in the chainmail didn't make these blueprints.
What?
It was
But
this
she
one
was,
over
she
here.
wasn't impressed with the deliciousness of the baked goods that Allie brought over.
I think what really happened was she cares way more about technicalities than food. So,
Let me lose some.
yeah. She's real. I mean, she didn't stop eating. She wiped her mouth with your t-shirt. I mean, she's happy with what she got. And she probably got some jitters from the tea with a little bit of extra Crimson Minotaur in it. But once you guys step out, she kind of scoots her chair another step closer. So, I mean, also, Chris, you said Alset's like 4 feet tall?
Yeah, he's tall for a gnome.
Yeah, she's 4 feet tall. You guys are like eye to eye, sitting,
I'm
standing.
like-
Before
tall
Tusk
for a
left, he
gnome.
would have said, "My honor, lady," and then before he walked out, he respects a decent
That's
fighter.
very
You can spell for
respectful
her.
of you. Thanks. And she bows
I'll
back.
even raise my goggles, make sure I'm right there with her.
Nice. It's like your eyes are really tiny. They got beady little eyes behind there. But when the goggles are on, it's like, "Brrr."
Yep.
The cartoon effects.
Nice. Yes, exactly. All right, yeah, so she pulls closer to, and even though the place is empty, it's her house, it's like she speaks in more of a hushed tone than what she had before. And she says,
You never know who's listening.
interesting you ask about Doomheart. What was your interest in it?
I'm looking for the pieces of it. It must be destroyed. We cannot have another Night of the Falling Stars. I know it exists.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe that the legends that it disappeared. It exists. I know it does.
Well, I've heard from some travelers just recently that the pieces of Doomheart have been assembled and are being used
I did not want to hear that. I did not want to hear
and
that.
are being used by someone off in the east. I no specifics, but they're being used to power the Drake Piercer.
Drake Piercer. I'm not sure I know anything about that.
It is
Stabbing dragons.
It is a crossbow stolen from the horde of the dragon Dorama centuries ago. With the power of the Doomheart behind it, something really bad could happen.
Yeah, I'm sure they're going to kill themselves. They don't know what they're dealing with.
If somebody was able to assemble all the pieces, maybe they do know.
How far east?
I've just heard in the east. It's been hushed whispers that some of our citizens have brought to my attention.
I'll need to talk to these citizens.
They're, yes, in the tavern, the barkeep, the waitress, I think the kiosk gift shop next to the Featherfall.
Oh, okay. I'm definitely stopping there.
Yeah, maybe the crotchety wizard at the Featherfall would have a little information.
Well, I'm sure he would. Yeah, I know his name's Tim. I know him.
Yeah. Tim with a question mark. Yes.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Tim.
All right,
Yes.
then I'll just cheers on the tea and drink up and take off.
I've never had tea make me so jittery before.
I know, this is the good stuff.
Delicious. All right, so she leaves you with that information. And just to, if it helps or not, Chris, I'm going to throw that up on the screen as some text as well, so you can see it.
Yep.
I'll just make sure it's going to be large enough. That's what she said. And then, why does my Alt key keep moving? It doesn't. That's just me. Okay. The key there being Chris, and there's more expose stuff. Apparently between Chris and Jason, they just established one of our major plot hooks. We now have something that we're going to be working towards.
What kind of dragon was Dorama?
Wait, you mean we're not just going to build amusement parks like over and over again?
So Dorama...
That's just the business up front. The business in the back's all the good stuff, man.
Oh, we're the mullet. That's our party name.
The legends of the dragon Dorama are Dorama began life as a fire dragon. When the horde was ransacked, it was when Dorama was killed, and now Dorama is back as a Draco Lich, and is trying to reclaim some of the treasure that was stolen from his horde.
I
just got us involved in a nice party.
Yeah, thanks for that.
This may not be the level 4 quest, but
it's right up my alley, though. He's like, I'm all in. We can go right now. He wouldn't care. We can go right now.
Hey, Joe, can the llama ride a llama and always have problems? I went to llama drama.
Drama.
I like that, Randy.
Ooh, it's a mother llama. Mama llama drama.
You get 1 point.
The llama mama. Do.
So the that's the story you've got there. At this point, like I said, Dorama is a last known I don't know, body was Draco Lich.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'll have to do some research.
All right. We can handle that. Now, with the folks going to go recruit, are we still shooting for a, what you call it, some kind of contest?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
Marty, it's not that I have a problem with our set. I just, like I said earlier, poke fun a lot. Let me get the door for you.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you. As I walk in, I'm like, my people, so good to see everyone. How many people are in this tavern here? What do I see?
Okay.
Is there like one person in there that I just yelled this to, or is it...
No? Being
my people,
dude cleaning the glass. What?
Being a touristy place and having 500-ish people in the town that live there. This is a large restaurant within the tavern, and there's always somebody in there, regardless of what time of day or night. Somebody at one of the tables at least drinking something, somebody eating something. The name of the tavern, which is across the entrance, is Elf Shot the Food. So there's probably a story behind there somewhere. But that's the name of the tavern. Let me...
Elf Shot the Food?
And that's this button. Yeah. Yes. Elf Shot the Food. It is in... it's next to, I should say, it's next to a small blacksmith shop who apparently makes really just decorations, like the keychains and the other stuff. No weapons, armor, anything like that hanging. A couple of horseshoes, weather vanes, things like that. That type of blacksmith shop.
Was there any Marty keychains on the way over? I always look for those.
Marty, yes, but they're spelled with an I.
Is it a subsidiary of the Phoenix Fire Forge blacksmith brand?
It is not. This place hasn't picked that up yet. Yeah.
Okay.
There most likely will be one of those somewhere in this world, though.
Of course.
So this inn is a 2-story timber and brick building. It does have a small fenced yard out front, and in the small fenced yard are some chickens just running here and there. A little chicken coop in the back. This is they probably get their own eggs, or grow their own eggs, as it were. Several small rooms, a couple of larger rooms. Inside, the innkeeper. So when you step in, first off, like I said, this is called a large restaurant, a restaurant that could fit 80, 90 people in it. Bunch of tables, that many chairs, big hearth fireplace, off on one side, long bar, about 40 feet long, and lots of different bottles up behind the bar with different numbers of X's on them, as well as little pictures of different things. A mirror actually on the wall behind the bar, and behind the bar is the tavern owner. You may not know that yet, but I'm going to tell you that's who it is. It's an old elf. So this elf is probably like, I don't know, 300-400 years old, however old elves are getting nowadays. And he's just tall with a hunch that's not normal for elves. Elves are nice, good posture. He's kind of hunched over, and as you watch him work cleaning the bar and stuff, it's obvious where he got that. He's always bent over doing something. Mm-hmm. And you may wonder, why didn't he just raise the bar up? He's probably well beyond that, right? Yeah. And then you also see off to the side a board, like a chalkboard, with a couple of different things on it. Specials of the day. There's a roasted mutton and soft cheese. There's boiled sausage and onions, and a couple of other things written up on there.
1 mutton and soft cheese, please.
Are you sure you want to be eating before the competition, Tusk?
You're right. Let's get this started.
Oh,
after I defeat
if you need some fuel, I fully get it here. I just want to make sure here. I don't want any projectile stuff to come out here. Allie, do you want anything from the restaurant?
That would not be my problem. That would be their problem.
Especially if it's projectile. Well,
You're not wrong. You're not wrong on that. But Allie, would you like some food or anything?
I believe I'll take a seat and try this sausage.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay. So I walk up to the elf and I'm like, "Hello, sir. Good to see you. Is this your fine establishment here?"
Why, yes, it is.
Fantastic.
And he's got like a big toothy smile the whole time. And his teeth aren't as nice as they ought to be, but they're not so bad either. I mean, they are 400-year-old teeth, so.
Oh, well, that's you keep yourself looking well, sir. Anyways, I don't know if you've heard of us before, heard of me potentially. Marty Shimowick, yes?
No. You'll also notice he doesn't smile with his eyes at all. It's just a forced, big, toothy smile.
Well, it's
that's customer service.
Yeah, it's no big deal here. But anyways, we represent the Crimson Minotaur, and we're looking for.
I've heard of that drink.
Of course you have. Here, have a promotional T-shirt, and I'll reach into my sack and I'll be like, I'll put it on the bar for him. Now,
he kind of holds it like a dead rat for a moment. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. If you want, you can probably maybe hang it on your wall. I can sign it for you later on if you would like. But let me go ahead and get to the point here. It seems like you have a good amount of people here, and I'm in need of some good, strong workers. What do you think here? Do you think that there are some patrons here that might be interested in a bit of a work challenge?
So he kind of draws your attention behind you towards the area, and as he's talking, you kind of see where the clear delineation is. He's like, on this side are our regular inhabitants. They probably don't want any kind of competition. On this side are the adventurers, and it becomes really obvious at that point. As soon as you look, it's like this side is people. The adventurer side are people dressed for adventure, as your party is. The other side is people just sitting around in jeans and t-shirts eating lunch, right?
Oh,
They just live here. It's that kind of look to it. They're the locals, and the restaurant is clearly divided. The locals probably have their specific places. So you've probably got about 20 people in the restaurant, almost an even mix. There's two tables that have visitors, and two tables that have the locals.
All right. Oh, well, if you don't mind, old man, if I go and issue a challenge out to some of these folks, do you?
As long as you're buying something.
Of course, yes. See the young lady over there. She would like some sausages, if you have some.
The boiled sausage and onion. The number 4.
The number 4, boiled sausage, extra onion.
Sure.
Thank you. Extra
Great.
onion, please.
Great.
All right, so I'll turn to the adventuring group, and I will walk over and kick over a stool and stand up on the top of it here as I'm like, yes, look at all of you. Look at all of you handsome adventurers out there. Who here is maybe up for a challenge for a bit of some coin?
And the first to step forward is a halfling, a male halfling, dressed wearing some splint mail and having a glaive kind of next. I was going to say across his back. It's not. It's leaning next to his chair, and it's as tall as he is, if not like a whole lot taller. He steps up, and it's a like I say, it's a halfling, and he says, "What kind of challenge are you talking about?"
Well, I'm looking for some strong, capable individuals to help with with a secret project here. Perhaps you've heard of the Crimson Minotaur, and I'll point to my gaudy emblem as far as it's on my robes, as far as what it looks like. And if you have the stomach for it here, you might be able to win a little bit of coin. But if you lose this challenge here, you will come and work for us for a few days. We'll still pay you, of course, but we will need your services. What do you say?
Well, I think I prefer Rock Comet to Crimson Minotaur, but
that piss water that is
rage.
It's all right. It's all right, old man. It's all right, old man here.
So he turns to his left, and at his left is a kind of a hulking individual, kind of leaned forward with black hair just down over his face. I think Cousin It to start, but it's somebody that's just kind of hovered over their food, and the black hair is just covering your view of them. And he taps that person on the shoulder, and he says, "Elurg, you want to fight something?" And,
sir.
And when that person's head picks up, you can see it's a She-Hulk female human fighter, just rippling and just eating angrily.
Oh, well, now let me be clear here. We don't want to cause a fight because, well, one, we don't want to ruin this fine establishment. I was talking about a feat of strength here. If you can take my man here, and I'll point over to Tusk here, who's taller than me, and I'll be like, if you can beat him in a feat of strength, the ultimate challenge, an arm wrestling competition, well, then you might win yourself some coin. But if you lose, well, then that fine, large woman will come and work for us for a few days. What do you say?
She looks at Tusk, holding a wooden spoon in her hand, and you see her knuckles whiten, and the spoon snaps in her hands, and she says, "Okay."
Well, why would you do that to that poor man's? I'm so sorry, sir. We will make sure we reimburse this poor restaurateur for that wooden spoon there. That seems unnecessary.
A worthy challenge.
It is a worthy challenge. And I'll turn to the rest of the group here, and to the rest of the people in there. I'm like, and you know what's going to cause my man to win here? It is this dashing bottle of Crimson Minotaur. Here you go, Tusk. Drink that before you Do you think?
Glug, glug, glug.
Crimson Minotaur
Yes,
gives you tusks.
Exactly. All right, so I'll pull a table aside and I'll set it up for Tusk.
Has Alset arrived at the tavern yet?
Oh yeah. You would have arrived at any point in time here.
Well, I wasn't sure how much I would have missed of the setup.
I mean, you've got the a little bit of time where everyone steps in, looks around, orders some food, right? So you definitely get there by the time this happens because you spent less than 5 minutes extra with Anon.
Well, I'm I'm a short guy. I don't walk too fast.
In this case, though, you only had to walk like 50 feet, so you're good. 2 rounds, right?
When I get there, I want to I have my goggles on. I want to run through all my lenses real fast to kind of take the lay of the land to see if anything looks weird. I also want to see if I can notice anything weird about the mirror behind the bar. If it's like one of those two-way mirrors, that kind of thing.
Give me a perception roll.
Perception.
Somebody's actually going to say they're looking for something.
No, I'm almost looking for something.
Hey, we were looking for a challenge. Come on.
Not that great. Nothing fancy.
Oh, I see a 10.
Unless you want me to use investigation, instead.
Let's go with perception for now.
Okay.
So it doesn't, I mean, presuming that there's no extra light one way or another, it doesn't have a view of, a two-way glass. There's no like odd little reflection or see-through-edness of some spot. You can't really tell any of that from what you've seen.
All right. I will, I guess, take up a seat at the challenge table to kind of see what's going on.
All right. The I guess let the game begin.
What did you say her name was again?
Didn't, but her name is Aelurg.
Oh, I thought he went like bum bum bum. Aelurg.
Oh, he did. I'm sorry. Yeah, she didn't say what her name was. Sorry.
Okay.
He did.
Are you so mad at your meal because they try to feed you jester food?
Just
As well.
What's her name? Aelurg?
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 Aelurg.
Aelurg.
I guess, how about that?
Aelurg.
That is her name. Now, she is definitely imposing, but you look at her, when you get a look at her after she stands up and comes over to the arm wrestling table, she is actually exceptionally beautiful. She's got really beautiful black hair, blue eyes, and she's got a huge mace on her back. She, like I said, splint mail armor, so she's fully ready to adventure.
But she's human, right?
Human, yes, yep. And she is about 6.5 feet tall.
Oh God.
She's a big woman. And the thing is, the male halfling that had introduced her is about 3.5 feet tall. So it just makes her all that much more imposing. It's kind of like you guys introducing Tusk. Same idea. Just
what was that guy's name?
How tall is Tusk?
7'2".
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What was the halfling's name that introduced Aelurg?
Tusk is a beast.
If you ask him, his name is Coom. Coom, like monkey.
Okay.
Over.
Oh, I need to leave the bad jokes like that for Miles. Never mind.
Yeah, that's a good point. Let Tusk have goodish jokes.
Yeah, like the jester food and stuff like that.
Cool.
All right. I'll try to keep the puns
see what
away.
we've got with let me switch over where we can have some dice. And just for the fun of this one, I'll roll my dice openly on the screen.
Now, is raging for the +2 cheating?
Do you know she's not a barbarian?
I have no idea.
There you go.
Probably not because of the armor, but
Yeah. There are some barbarians who are, armor wearers. Especially the ones that beat you in arm wrestling.
Shots fired.
Just so it's not a
Heyo.
surprise. Just so it's not a surprise when I want to do this. I can telepathically speak with people, so I'm going to distract Aelurg at the precise time I need to make sure Randy's character wins.
Okay.
Pulls it.
So then what I'll do is...
Like, she won't know it's me because she hasn't heard my voice, but
Yeah. I'll do
I'll
my
just do 60
usual
people.
find a way to make the advantage kind of thing happen. And what we'll do is both Chris and Randy will roll a d20. We will take the higher of the two and add Randy's strength bonus.
Yes.
Thanks for the confidence, Jason, by the way. Saw that in the chat.
I didn't see it.
We're trying to get recruits, buddy.
I hope
I
you
was
win.
just
Nice, yeah. And Bridget mentioned that the inn was originally named Elf is Hot, Not the Food, but it got
Food,
shortened
yes.
at some point.
That's a great backstory.
Nice.
Regardless of who wins, rounds on me.
All right. All right, then, Mr. Man. Let's go with strength roll.
Okay, gonna burst into a rage and strength roll.
And Chris will also roll a 20. Right off the bat, I started with a 12.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Tusk got a 6. And that's with a +4, so you rolled a
Oh my
2.
God. Mine was a 20. Mine was a 20 that just rolled over on this side. It was almost.
No.
That sucks.
Well, I don't see yours in here.
I don't think they accounted for the other two, so technically 8
Chris.
with the strength check.
Oh, hold on. Let me.
Yeah, throw
let me do-
Still.
Let me do the one in here.
Yeah, there you go. 11. All right, what's your strength
Oh, it's
bonus?
not working.
4, Tusk? So you'd have a 15 there. Her strength bonus is also a 4. So she's got a 16. So if we're doing one round, it goes
Yes.
to her.
Well, I was just mentioning that with the rage because it wasn't
okay,
required. That you gain an advantage on strength checks and saving throws, not attacks, +2 melee damage with STR. I don't know if that's +2 roll or if that does anything for this. It says saving checks and saving throws,
Yep, +2.
so it should
So
be a
tell
+2
me-
more. So it's a +6 instead of a +4.
Tell me what everyone sees when Tusk goes from normal Tusk to Rage Tusk. Because if it's obvious, well, she might rage too.
I think the green in his hair turns darker, almost black for a second.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Then if she notices, which I'm going to give her a chance to notice this, I guess. Let me go ahead and roll a little perception for myself. A 5. Oh, she might not notice. All right. Here we
You
go.
want me to do?
It's just the lighting thing.
It's a lighting, yes. So man, she's just focused on getting pumped up and ready for you.
Just
so-
a Crimson Minotaur drink.
Do you want me to do a deception to
No, you're
challenge
good.
that? or-
You're good. We
Okay.
got it. No unfair advantage for me, just for you. That works. The
Try to recruit.
first contest is won by a player. Yay! Go Randy. So Tusk, and
Thank you, Chris.
it's barely. I mean, you are back and forth, and at one point in time where she's got your arm more than halfway down, Alset says, or he takes a drink, and then I'll wait for him to put his cup down and swallow, and then Alset says into her head,
Whom the halfling plans to murder you tonight.
and then bam, Tusk wins.
That's going to cause some issues later.
She's like, what? What?
Kiki, you better watch your character's back.
Who said that?
I think he was referring to the halfling who introduced.
It could be.
Not our halfling.
Oh, the Coom.
Yes.
Yep. So as he does this here, I'll hold up Tusk's arm and I'll be like, "Look at that, ladies and gentlemen! Did you see the feat of strength, all brought on by this Crimson Minotaur, which you can find at the kiosk and gift shops here. Later on, we've reached an agreement with Lady Anan for these things here. Reasonable price, yes, but good for you, man." And I'll pat Tusk on the shoulder.
It grants you metaphorical flying appendages.
That's not
Horns.
That's not the horns. Horns.
Yeah.
Horns. Tusk. Horns. Doesn't make you doesn't make you fly. Tusk. Tusk. We've been over this many times as far as the sales pitch.
Trademark infringement. Stop.
Anyways, any other challengers here? We now have you, young lady. What was your name again? Alurig?
She says very angrily while still side-eyeing and squinting all around the place. Ayler.
Alerg, welcome. Here, please, wear this. And I give her a promotional t-shirt.
And And what else was she supposed to be doing? Is
You
she
don't
supposed to work
know.
with you for a couple of
Yeah,
days?
she's supposed to help
Manual
us build
labor.
the contract, build the contraption.
Manual labor.
You know what? No, we're not going to do this.
You
One
what?
more time, for real. No interference.
Tusk, that was for real. What are you talking about?
I don't like what just happened.
You have no
know-
idea what happened.
What happened? What did you do?
And she immediately sits back down, puts her elbow on the table and says, "Let's do this."
We will do double or nothing.
Ding.
What?
What are we?
All right,
what's-
Tusk, you need to like go get some food. Get some good boiled sausage and onions or something.
Exactly.
Hey, should have let him eat. He's trying to be loyal and
All right. Well, let's do it then.
Tusk, think about the money for Karen. What are you doing?
Tusk, what are you doing here?
Straight up,
We
man.
won, Tusk. Tusk.
I'm going to
Okay.
do the same thing.
is rage still in effect, or is it whatever?
I mean, I don't know how long it lasts. I can't remember for sure.
For a minute, 10 rounds. So would it have
I'm
been a
gonna
minute
say
after the
that
talking?
I'm gonna say no. It would drop because there's been some back and forth there.
All right, he's gonna spark it again.
Okay. Well, let's see if
Another
Aylar
12.
notices that. All right, so you're gonna end up with
So 17 altogether.
Okay. So first off, this time she notices the rage because I'm gonna go with a 16 on a perception check there, and then I guess I'll just do a re-roll of what I had. She goes like, and you see her, not only do her knuckles whiten, but your hand starts to feel like that wooden spoon. And she's
I want to do
like,
the same thing.
all right, let's see. Chris, what I need you to roll is 17 or higher.
Well, I guess we'll see what happens.
Oh,
Nope.
an 8 won't do it. Okay, so she's like,
I'm just a distraction.
she's like, no voices in my head, thunk. And she takes the t-shirt and hands it back to Marty. I believe this is yours.
One win for me, one win for you. Do you want to try for one final round?
You should double or nothing. Do you not understand how betting mechanics work and how things?
She can't give you 2 t-shirts back though, so. Okay, half orc. We can do it one more time.
Fair enough.
She's very confident now.
Mhm.
She felt like she had you the first time if it weren't for the voices in her head, which, like, you don't know this, but that happens to her regularly. It was just a different voice this time, kind of wacky.
We're gonna rage.
Like
The final time.
Mutton Chop says, "I don't like the fact that I won. Rematch."
It's the fact that it was not an honorable win, and this is a barbarian we're talking about, not a smarter
All right,
fighter
so
or
for the-
somebody else.
For the last one here, we're gonna have you
He doesn't
roll
know.
in first.
He doesn't know it was an honorable win, though. He has no idea that Alset's doing this.
Yep.
That's a good point.
He just didn't feel like his strength was up to par for that first one. He didn't feel like he was ready.
Well,
Didn't
maybe you
feel
need
like
to
it
drink some
worked
more.
out.
Here, take
Yeah,
another.
take another
Crimson.
swig. Take another swig.
Actually, finish the whole can.
Brunch.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Let's do this.
Did it go? No.
I haven't seen it yet. There we go. Ooh.
Ooh.
All right. So we're gonna go with that being a 21. Unless you have another rage in you.
I hit the last rage.
Okay.
So I'm spent for that. But I figured we're probably not going to leave the town tonight just yet. Anyway.
Nah. So all right. Here's the opposing roll.
We got like 3 days of building this stuff.
8. All right.
Close one.
So you win this one. You win the third round, and it's fair. There's a little back and forth, but you end up winning. And you know at the end of this, based on the amount of strength she was able to push back with, you're going to have a sore elbow and a sore forearm for a couple of days. As will she, but at least...
He's hoping it might get him out of a little bit of work for a day or two.
Just have
There you
Allie
go.
look at it. Oh, you're not getting out of work. Allie will take it out for you.
So she holds her hand out towards Marty. I'll take the t-shirt back.
There you go. It'll look very smashing on you here.
And
All right.
Just out of a little bit of defiance, she forces it on over her armor, flexes, rips the shoulders, and then rips the neck open a little bit. She's like,
That's actually hard to do. It's a very stretchy material.
Yeah, it's very stretchy
You have to
material.
make a strength check on that. I'm serious. Don't mess
Okay.
around.
19.
Oh,
I think I'll let that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it
okay.
does take her some work. She should be
Yeah.
surprised. She's like, man, this keeps stretching.
She's pissed.
I told you to have me test it before we had
I'll,
people wear it.
I'll lean over to Alsa. I'm like, Alsa, I thought we tested the stretch.
I'm gonna have to work on that. I don't know.
I thought,
That was
my
pretty
goodness, my goodness.
She's really
Well, good
angry.
show. Well, we have you, and I assume your halfling friend there, man. You're coming to work with us. I hand him a child-size shirt.
Extra small,
like
extra halfling.
That's cool. That's cool. And the thing is, it can't even be seen as offensive because you have two people that size with you. It's like, of course you would carry a shirt that size.
Exactly.
Awesome.
I am a half man of my word, so I will get all your party drinks.
Yes. We'll buy rounds for everybody here. Now I know my man Tusk here is a little bit maybe spent from today, but is there anyone else that seems like they are interested in working for us?
And one guy in
After
the
showing
corner,
our feat of strength.
one guy in the corner raises his hand and he says, "I think your dungeon master wants you guys to just talk a little bit to end up this live stream."
Very good, very good. Let's go talk to Allie here. Allie, how is
Very meta.
How are those? How is that sausage and onions? Looks like there's more onion than sausage in there.
You said
That's
extra.
pretty good.
I said extra, but not. This doesn't mean to overpower the palate of the sausage.
Yeah.
As you turn her, you notice she's gotten a second plate that also has the mutton on it.
Oh,
Nice.
very nice.
Nice. All right, so hey, let's take just a couple of minutes to finish off this our first live stream to talk about how we think it went. First, I'll start. I really like this. I mean, I've known all of you in one way or another now playing games, so we didn't have to learn each other so much. But I like the way we kind of click together. One of the difficult parts of running an online game is knowing when to shut up to let other people talk and avoiding talking over. And we do good with that here. I think we just did. A lot of that is, no thanks to COVID for making people do more online interaction. So we've learned over the last year. But I think that went well. We've had some good interaction between characters, a little bit of interaction with our new world. I like the way things have started off. Who else would like to throw a few seconds at this?
No, I fully agree. I think that it went really well. I think everyone got into it pretty quickly here. The biggest thing for me as a DM as well is trying to make sure that everyone, has a moment in the game here, and that can be tough going back and forth. But I think, everyone did a good job here. I would like to say, I'd like to get, Kiki more involved a little bit because it felt like, towards the back end, there wasn't as much to do. And again, that happens through the course of D&D anyways.
Yeah.
But other than that, though, I think, the pacing was good. I think that everything was solid. I think we got a plot hook in there now. And next game, we're going to build a stupid machine to go bungee parasailing.
I like that. Yep.
Yeah.
Bungee sailing.
Bridget says it was entertaining. Thank you, Bridget.
Nice.
I too think it went really good. I had a few bugs of my own with unstable connections and my lighting system either making me the invisible man or making the background show up. So, but other than that, I think it went pretty smoothly for our first go at this. Kiki, feel free to interject whenever you feel like. I mean, when I first was playing as Miles at the very start of the other campaign that's still going on, I had a problem interjecting as well, as much as I probably could have. But it'll come, so feel free to just throw stuff out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I assure you she's not afraid to talk. Speaking of which, Kiki, how do you think it went?
I think it went really well. I will definitely say, as I've talked to the group, getting ready for all of this, I have a lot of, a little bit anxieties of, well, how is all the mechanics going to work and, all of this technical stuff. But it really is just ending up being really pretty smooth, honestly. I am surprised at how quickly we kind of got things together that weren't even remotely mentioned in the before talk.
Yeah.
Just, this is what we're doing now. This is where we came from. And I was like, oh, okay, well, this is awesome. Just, I really like the way that it's rolling so far. It's very comfortable. It's very fun.
That's great to hear. Chris, do you want to shoot that down?
Yeah, I think just to reiterate, yeah, it's kind of like pretend like we're a band and we're just improv jamming, and just somebody hits a note, just to vamp off that, right? So if I've mentioned, like, traded like some magic weapon that just came out of nowhere, you could throw in something, a piece of information, maybe just keep adding on, right? Just keep dumping stuff on there, and we'll just keep creating more and more paths to go down later to look for stuff. I guess also too, maybe in like I was trying to do this time, is trying to put something of my character to use, like I did the telepathic thing. Maybe everybody should probably think about that, right? Try to use something that's like, Randy uses rage. Maybe use something that is your character alone, maybe, just to get that flavor, into the pile, right into the pot.
Yeah, and I'll add on to that too. As we get wrapped up here, that one of the things I mentioned early on was that we were going to collaboratively put all this together. And that, to Kiki's point, where it feels smooth, is you get vested in it. I mean, you say you went and baked some pastries. Well, there's no reason for me to say, no, you don't have the ability to do that, or make you roll for it. Yeah, you just went and made pastries. It makes it easier to just flow into it. We make up the places we go, the things we do. And as long as somebody is keeping a relatively decent note that we can have some consistency when we revisit stuff, then it does indeed flow. And I really like the sound of that. We are at our 2 hours. We're going to get this one wrapped up. I'm going to play the same exit that I usually do on the other podcast. But we're going to wrap this one up, and we can all say bye to the great folks that are listening on YouTube and watching, for that matter.
Yeah, thanks, Eli.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Bridget.
Yeah,
thank
thanks
you
for joining.
guys.
Find us online
I think,
at adventuresfromtheshed.com.
That second match, Tusk saw Abby, the ghost, and that's why he messed up.
Oh.
He says that every time.